One of the big trends we're seeing change around recruiting is the demand now for a diverse slate. It's how we have always operated. We're 10 years old, but now companies are asking for it up front versus it's our secret sauce. So diverse slate's been a nice big change in the industry.
The biggest trend I'm seeing from the candidate perspective is with COVID, the workplace has changed and we haven't really figured out what that looks like in the future. And so each company's trying to come up with a plan around it. Meanwhile, the candidates are they each have their kind of personal needs that they're looking for in their job in this new world order. And the two groups are trying to come together. And so there's a lot of negotiation at the offer stage around this piece of the kind of employer-employee relationship.
There's always a need for quick hiring. That's so exciting, right? Find the candidate, fill the role. But it's really expensive when we don't slow down to go fast. If it takes a little bit more time, but then you have the culture complement, the values alignment, and also you've really gotten to know each other. So it's not you're putting on your best self, but it's kind of letting your guard down, being honest about what's hard, being honest about what's great, and not just presenting the great. Fast is not always best. It's really what you want is the right hire. And sometimes that means a little bit more space to get to know each other.
People are staying in roles for shorter periods of time, and that's frustrating employers. And I don't think that it's because the candidate is a job jumper necessarily. I just think there's so many opportunities out there. They want to experience the world, and the world is changing. It's accelerating so fast, which we've seen in the last year. One of the things I would encourage employers to do is really get to know the person before passing judgment on a resume where someone's only been there a couple of years for each role. There might be a reason.
The goal is not to get the job, it's to get the right job. Being thoughtful to the specific questions they're asking. What problems can you solve? What does the team need? What are the short-term, medium-term, long-term understandings of that? How do you curate the stories that are perfect for that role, that show what's possible and how you can make an impact?
My question straight up from the beginning is, what are your hopes and dreams? What do you want out around your next employee experience? And so then you can start whittling down from there, because there is no perfect employer, but at least you get a sense of overall what they're looking for. And then you can plug and play with the clients that you have. The other key element that helps beyond that is thinking about what kind of person you want to work for. I spend a lot of time on the front end when we are talking to clients about a search, learning about the hiring manager and understanding what's important to them, their style, so that we're properly managing the relationship and how that's going to show up. People don't leave companies, they leave bosses. And so if you can figure out that piece and then layer in the hopes and dreams of the company culture, whatever, opportunities for growth within the organization, I think you're going to have a pretty close match. What problem is this role going to solve for you? How do you want that person to show up in the relationship so you can feel that partnership that's authentic? Do they want someone who likes to be micromanaged and they can be really involved and collaborative? Or do they want someone who come in and manage up and say, I got this, I'm taking this off your plate, let's go?
Always comes down for me to focus. How do they go from the big hopes and dreams to like the things that matter most in the short, medium, and long term? And sometimes for long term, that for startups, that's 18 months. So what's needed in the role and how long are they thinking about this role, depending on their trajectory? How fast the team is growing also changes a lot in terms of how we think about criteria that will help the hiring executive tailor to what's going to be the best hire.